Jerry Miller, our VCS athletic director. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Jerry. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So, Jerry, we are here today talking about VCS athletics, and primarily I wanted to connect together and talk so our parents can kind of understand some of the dynamics around college athletics. And quite honestly, I am super proud with what we do as a school, what you and the team do to prepare student athletes for whatever goals they have on the college athletics world. And to give some parents some understanding about what that looks like at VCS, some of the things and goals and things for our senior athletes that they're going to be moving into that world next year, and some things that families need to know so they can have confidence about what we're doing in that world at VCS. So maybe you could just start telling me a little bit about some of our senior athletes and what some of their plans are for next year and some of the things we're particularly proud of.
Okay, there's a lot there to unravel.
Yes.
So for our senior athletes currently, we have 8 that are going to participate at the collegiate level next year. 3 in football, 3 in baseball, 1 swimmer, and what's the last one?
It'll come to you. You'll remember in a minute.
It will come to me. Doggone it.
So let me ask you, Jerry, so how do those numbers, so our families can have context, how do those numbers compare to what maybe some national averages are?
Okay, so the national average is about 6 to 7% of high school seniors are actually able to play beyond high school. There's varying levels of collegiate sports, everything from junior college, NAIA, and the NC2A has 3 divisions, Division 1, 2, and 3. But if you group those all together, about 6 to 7% are able to play beyond high school. At our school this year, we have 14% of our senior class is going to be competing at the collegiate level next year. It's really amazing. In opportunities, again, in a variety of sports, the other sport was girls basketball. So we have athletes in football, baseball, basketball, swim. They're all prepared to move on to the next level.
That's awesome. So more than double the national average. Which,
that's correct.
I think what I want to share with that too, Jerry, what I hope encourages our parents is that at a school like VCS, we may not be the size of a Division I school, and yet students not only have as good an opportunity, but quite honestly, I think more resources and more access to be able to achieve their athletics goals beyond VCS, which fits our mission of what we want to do. Maybe you can tell our families like a little bit of some of the things that you and the team do that you're very intentional about to help our student athletes reach their post-high school goals.
So the 2 biggest things that prepare the kids, number one, from an academic standpoint, the standards that Vacaville Christian have are very high academically, and that just keeps more doors of opportunity open for the kids. There's a lot of statistical information about what percentage of kids can play at various levels, but the fact of the matter is being a good student keeps the most doors open, and the fact that we emphasize that is enormous in terms, again, of giving kids a chance. The other thing that ties together with that, the majority of our coaches played collegiately. And so our coaches are very, very good at how to get kids prepared and what they need to be able to do to play at the next level. They're not simply coaching for wins and losses, they're coaching for development. The priorities that we have at our school, God first, academics second, and athletics third, might come across wrong initially, but that priority list make sure that we keep as many options available to the kids as possible. And again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is that the coaches that we have played collegiately, our softball coach, football coach, baseball coach, it goes on and on, our volleyball coach, all have experience. Yeah. So it really helps prepare the kids.
Well, I think that Jerry, they know what it takes.
They do.
Right? They know what it takes to compete at the next level. They know what it takes to get to the next level. And I want to touch on something you said earlier because you were talking about our academic program. We're very proud of our academic program at VCS. We have high academic expectations. We recently, at the time of this recording, had an SB's athletics event. Current VCS families know what that is. We get to celebrate the achievements of our student athletes at VCS. And how many of our students, maybe you can share, how many of our students achieved academic all league. That's a 3.5 or better.
Correct. So not all leagues recognize academic achievements, but the league that we compete in does. It's a very important thing in our league. Of all of the athletes that participated in sports, and bear in mind, it's a school of 200, and 80 of them achieved all academic. Some obviously made it in multiple sports.
Amazing.
It really is. So the disciplines that they're taught at home, in the classroom, and through their coaches really prioritize making sure that we do well in the classroom first. Again, to prepare them for the grind. If they do want to play after high school, they've got to be able to succeed in the classroom or they won't get to play.
Absolutely.
And so our coaches do a fantastic job of preparing the kids on the field and in their academic studies.
Absolutely. And we have had college athletes that have come here to VCS and told us specifically, and this is maybe something that you can speak to, Jerry, that have come, I know you've shared this with me, specifically here to VCS and said, we want VCS athletes because we know those college programs know how we prepare those students academically. And they know that every single student is going to come ready and prepared to be successful academically in the classroom. And so there's actually, for many programs, a special emphasis on recruiting from schools like VCS with our high academic achievement, because they know those student athletes are going to be successful. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll give you an example. San Jose State's running back coach was on campus 2 years ago. He met with 3 of our athletes, and I asked him afterwards, we're a small school, why did you come here? I don't want to mention the other school, but he referred to another local school and said they were fantastic on the field, but they only had 2 students that were NC2A eligible.
Wow.
He knew that any of our kids that might fit the bill, he didn't have to worry about the academic side of things. So I'll give you another example. Today, later on this morning, we have Lewis and Clark College coming on campus.
Awesome.
Lewis and Clark is a D3 school, but it's a really difficult academic school. Division III athletics don't give athletic scholarships, but they do give enormous academic merit scholarships.
Sure.
So there are kids that could go to Lewis and Clark and actually get more money for their academics than they could have athletically at a different school.
Wow.
So we are super excited to outreach to all of those types of schools.
That's awesome, Jerry. And in addition to that, we have a software program that is accessible to our families, no cost, that helps them collect film and connect directly with potential college coaches, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We use a platform, or we use and offer a platform called Sports Recruits to all of our athletes. In the summertime, a gal, Miss Borges, she connects with the parents and the students and teaches them how to build their profile, how to use the platform to its advantages, and it really is a great way to connect. It's a really unique thing that we can do as a small school, so the parents don't have to go out and spend money and not be guided properly on how to use that.
That's right.
And so the fact that Alicia is available and can help guide the families is super helpful as well.
That's awesome, Jerry. All right, I've got another question for you. The landscape has changed. So many families might be under some misunderstandings, misconceptions about success at the next level. So we've had students at VCS, a number of students that have gone on and competed at the Division I level in different sports, but many do not. And so for, let's say you're a family who's either looking at VCS or a VCS family and may not see a whole roster of student athletes that are participating at the D1 level. Help maybe some of our families to kind of understand how that dynamic has changed, and why what we're seeing at VCS, our senior athletes that are going on even this year, are really kind of following what's kind of a new strategy and kind of that college athletics pipeline. Tell us, our families, a little bit about that.
Okay, so the landscape has changed dramatically in the recruiting development process. With the advent of what's called the transfer portal, and also another item called NIL, which is national or name, likeness, and image. Those 2 things that are available for college athletes now have changed the way colleges look at recruiting. The transfer portal has made things difficult for high school kids because there's many college coaches that are holding out on offering scholarships and waiting to see which kids might enter the transfer portal.
Sure.
I'll give you a good example. It's a pro and con. So we had a gal 2 years ago, Emerson Meggers, and she signed a D1 scholarship to go to Utah and play softball. 1 year later, she entered the transfer portal. The fit wasn't really good for her, and so she was able to enter the portal, play at a different school, and not be held accountable to the scholarship that she initially signed. That's a good thing. The difficult part of that is it means that colleges are cautious about going after 18-year-olds anymore.
Yep.
They can get kids that have transferred and that already have a season under their belt or have matured physically, have already gone through the rigors of academics. So it is not frowned on anymore to go to a junior college and get more physically developed and learn the rigors of study. Another example I'll give, I spoke with the basketball coach at Chico State. He's a great coach. He doesn't even recruit high school seniors anymore. Yeah. He's waiting for kids in the transfer portal, or he's going after 19 and 20-year-olds out of junior college that are already, again, more physically fit and ready to go. College basketball is a 55-game schedule. In high school, it's a 25-game schedule. Yep. Some of the kids just aren't prepared for that. So I don't think that families should frown or look down on if there's an opportunity to play at a junior college. If you're playing beyond high school, then you've achieved something already. And now to take advantage of that and really get as good as you can will open up doors. I'll give you one more example. We had a kid 2 years ago, Nico Meadows. He was offered a scholarship at Westmont College, and he decided not to pursue that. He went to Diablo Valley College, DVC, to play baseball, and now he's going to go on to Masters and play there next year. But for him, that was a great opportunity to develop over 2 years and not spend the money at a college that maybe wasn't a good fit for him. So again, whether it's Division I, II, III, NAIA, junior college, we want to make sure that the kids are as prepared as possible to have as many doors open as possible for the options so they can make good decisions and not be limited because they weren't prepared properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that encourages me too, Jerry, is that, at a school like VCS, we are large enough to have 16 varsity sports, for those who may not know. And in addition to that, we're large enough to have all of those traditional high school things, and on the athletic side to compete at a very high level. And yet at the same time, we're small enough to give individual attention to student athletes and their families to help accomplish their goals. And there's a level of attention, all the knowledge that you're talking about, Jerry, you've got that knowledge, the coaches have that knowledge, our athletics team on the staff side has that knowledge, and we are very, very purposeful. You and the team do a fantastic job helping our student athletes to reach those goals, but with a level of individual attention that you're just not going to see at other schools.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when the rosters are a little bit smaller. Yeah. So, for example, our basketball program has a couple of young ladies that can play at the next level, and I've already been able to reach out to some of the colleges that would be a good fit for them. So now we're narrowing down the search to a good fit, whether that's spiritually, academically, or athletically. So I feel confident that we can give the attention that's needed.
Awesome. Thank you, Jerry. Well, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully this is an encouragement to our families and even prospective families to VCS. Thanks for all you do.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Jerry. All right. Next time.